This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First order of business is the public hearing. Would one of you like to move to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Since last month, I have received no inquiries via email referencing the public hearing. Is there anyone online at this time who would like to make public comment?
I cannot see. We have someone that joined us, but no, nobody is.
We have to officially wait a minute.
No, 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Yes.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, a public hearing for a local law to waive the residency requirement for town attorney.
Golly, thank you. Yeah, it's right there on this too. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, that's 60 seconds. No public comment.
Make a motion, we close the public hearing. Second.
Motion made and seconded to close public hearing. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Now, can we move on to the agenda and then go back to this to vote on it?
This will be under your
Right, yes.
report, yes.
Okay, yeah.
You're on time to do your job.
Welcome, Len. We just opened the public hearing. There was no comment. We just closed it. So my apologies for being late. No, that's okay. That's your time.
But you're the agenda.
Just in time, stay standing. If everyone will rise. And Len, would you lead us in the pledge? Please join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right.
Yeah, invocation.
No, Larry's not on. No.
Go back.
Would you like? Thank you, Doc. Okay, everyone received the minutes from the 12 April 2021 meeting. Are there any comments or?
I'll make a motion, we approve them as submitted. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of April 12th. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Steve,
Yes, sir.
you're up.
All right. Everybody's got my report. That should be self-explanatory. I just wanted to do some follow-up to last month's discussion that we started about tiny homes and short-term rentals and all of that sort of stuff. And I can take this back to the planning board. We did the following evening have planning board meetings, so we kind of got the ball rolling there. And based on discussion, this is where we're at, and kind of we just want to make sure that we're on track with what the board wants us to be taking a look at. So we're essentially looking at eliminating the 500 square foot rule that we have right now for dwellings. We would have to add definition of tiny homes to our current definition of dwellings in our zoning regulation, which is not a big deal, and then add the state defined tiny home definition into our zoning as well. So that's all very clearly defined in there. We're going to explore the various short-term rental laws, the sample laws that we have out there. We have a couple of them now from different municipalities to take a look at, see if they fit our needs. And then probably the most complicated part of this is exploring multiple tiny homes allowing for multiple tiny homes per lot. That's probably going to be the complicated piece of this. Right now, we have a definition in there, or a requirement in there. If you have 2 or more campers or other mobile homes, that meets our definition, our zoning definition of a campground, which is different from the state definition of a campground, which is more than 4 campsites. So regulations and whatnot. So
I've got questions about glamping.
glamping,
I don't know where that would fall.
yeah,
That's like camping?
it's fancy
Yeah,
camping.
it's fancy camping,
Yeah.
where like someone wants to just put like a deck, essentially, like wooden platform, and a tent on it. That there's no running water or anything.
We've got
And
enough-
then there's like an RV there for one.
Yeah, and there again, I mean, that's something that
How are you gonna get
possibly take a look at, you know, it depends. You still have the Department of Health criteria, you know, they've got 4 or more than 4 sites. Then it's a campground and they've got, you know, the water purification that they've got to do and, you know, all of that sort of thing. So,
Like under the table,
so yeah, some of the ideas people come up with are somewhat nuts.
Yeah, just
But
go ahead and drop it.
I mean, anything that explores.
Right.
So 4 or more,
It's more than
more than 4.
4. It becomes a Department of Health regulated campground. And, you know, if,
Got it.
and again, you have to be careful what they're calling a tiny home. If it's truly a tiny home, that's one thing, but if it's something that looks like a tiny home, but it's actually more like an RV, you know, they may well get their hands involved in that if you've got several of them. I don't know. It's going to be complicated. But based on our first conversation and some other conversation that I had with Sean Letty afterwards, I just wanted to report back to the board, say, this is where our heads are at, this is where we're going. Make sure that we're good with that. Because the one question that Sean had of me was, you know, is the board supportive of, you know, allowing for multiple tiny homes? And I said, well, that's kind of what I got from the board when I brought this up and said, yeah, we kind of wanted to allow this. We just want to do it in a way that makes sense.
Right. Well, one of the components that we may not be discussing right at the moment, but maybe we should, does the DEP have a say as far as sanitary connections?
Yeah,
Multiple.
right. I haven't gotten a hold of them. I haven't gotten a hold of them yet. I mean, my you know, dozen or so years of practical application of all of this stuff, it seems to me that you can hook, you know, just like a trailer park, you can hook multiple units to one septic system.
Right.
So I don't see where that's going to be the biggest hurdle. You know, I foresee if each one of them is considered a 1-bedroom unit,
Yeah.
I can foresee setting up a system for a 3-bedroom house that will handle 3 units.
Yeah, and, you know, but that may drive the number for each individual lot, you know what I mean? If a person has a 10-acre lot and wants to put 5 homes on it, there may be some DEP regulations lot size versus septic required.
Well, there again,
So-
you're gonna get into, you know, if you have 5 or more, then you're gonna be into the campground territory.
Right, so I guess it's good that we're at this point right now. We'll let the planning board continue with what they're doing. And I think it's worthwhile if somebody, you know, it brings more people in. I don't know about the glamping thing, but yeah, someday, yeah. So,
And then otherwise, our solar project up on East River Road is back before the planning board tomorrow night. They're trying to move forward. However, it's been a year since it's been 2 years since they came to the planning board and got their use permit. Nothing has happened, so it expired a year ago. So, and they're looking at wanting to, you know, start building here in June. But they're expired, so they gotta come back before the planning board. So just to let you know where that's at. I mean,
and yeah, when they do that process, they'll have all the updated information. It should, I mean, it should.
Yeah, it's
This
actually.
won't be any showstoppers.
And if they had, besides, they had a few changes. The initial approval had on-site power storage, which is no longer there.
Which is
They're
good.
wanting to do that.
Yeah.
They had a change in the fence style, and a change in how they were handling cabling. Their initial approval, they were burying all the cable, and now they want to hang it on the racks. So, so those changes in and of themselves would cause them to have to go back to the board for reapproval anyway.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that shouldn't be a big issue if it's if it's inside a locked-in
Right.
fenced area.
Right.
Whether they hang the cables from the poles on the, you know, the individual poles are buried in it. Because it's a secure area, technically, right?
Yeah. Well, with any luck, we'll get them through that and get them potentially
Thank you.
approved in June, and they'll be right on track.
Did they give you a build-out date or how long it will take to?
Not specifically in any recent conversation. I know they said previously, you know, when they get started, it's, you know, they'll have a good chunk of the work done within like a month. You know, pounding poles and setting the racks and all that sort of stuff. Once they get started, it doesn't take them long. When it's up and running, I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot more complicated stuff that has to go on before they actually tie into the grid and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, I just want to let you know that's moving forward. And, I think it's about it.
Okay. Good, thank you. Okay, anybody have any questions on the dog control report? Okay.
So he's issued a lot of tickets, so
Yeah,
hopefully the court will follow through on them.
yeah, he, last month he developed a 3-phase plan to reduce 25 dogs per phase. And is he on the 2nd phase now?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
2nd phase, yeah. So, okay,
Down to the last 25 or some odd number, 20 something.
did you get Penny's report? Any questions on that?
No,
Okay.
that was good news.
Yes, she is, again, as you know, several years ago, we were $6 million short, or the town had lost $6 million of taxable assessment, and she's gaining back, you know, doing a lot of good work in that area, so. Okay, Walter,
Yeah, I'm here.
you have anything for the board tonight?
No, when I looked at the portal, Homeland Security, both at the state and federal level, have done, I see no change from last month or the month before, the month before, the month before, the month before. So yes, nothing to report.
Okay. I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but it's so nice to have someone monitor that for us. So, but thank you, Walt. Okay, Jeff.
We've made 600 tons of graded batch and we began placing it. We did a lot of last minute ditch and shoulder repairs on the roads we plan to seal. And when it's not raining, we're getting some batch put down here and there where we can. If all goes well, I would like to have the roads that we're planning to seal all completed by the end of May, so we do not see another escalation in the oil price. Things are, from what everybody says, they're going to go up and up and up.
Of course, you heard what happened with the oil or the gasoline pipeline that supplies 45% of the East Coast with gasoline. It was hacked. Their ransomware. So expect gas prices to go up.
If they can resolve it within a couple of days.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the gas prices are going to go immediately up. And if they resolve it in 2 days, how long is it going to take to come back down if they come back down? So I just wanted to throw that out there, Mac. That's all.
Other than that, been looking into some pricing to replace our cat loader, which is a 2007. And if all goes well with the extra chips money, we might be able to fund a purchase like that, utilizing some or all of that money. I haven't got any rock solid numbers yet. He was supposed to give me some idea of what our old loader might be worth trade in.
What year is that?
2000, the new one or the old?
The old one.
2007.
And that's the one you want to trade in.
Well, trade it in, sell it on the auction.
Or whatever,
Makes the most
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But that's under motion, nothing finalized there, but we also have those items that we surplus that have been listed on Auctions International, and we have a list of what they brought at auction. We would like to approve or deny the purchases of those tonight.
You want
Not purchases, a sale of those.
to tell me to read off what they were?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so there was a 1960s vintage Ford fire truck that went for $930, 1988 R30 flatbed pickup that was $970, 1966 International fire truck $680, 9-foot Fisher plow was $200. That was just a partial. Blade with some framework in it. And 1988 Eager Beaver trailer that we just replaced, that was $21.25. I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second. We have a motion to approve the bids and a second to approve the bids. Any further comment, discussion? All in favor? Aye. That motion is carried. Good. Is that what those numbers were? Separate fire truck. That's a pretty good number for 1960. What year?
The ones in the 60s.
Yeah.
That might be a 65, maybe the international.
The International is 66.
Yeah, 66.
Yeah.
Okay, I was very close to one. Came right down. That's
So-
bad news. You can remember.
I think we paid $1 for that one.
Yeah. Again, this is surplus that we declared surplus. When did we do that? 2 months ago? Anyways. Authorized Jeff to go ahead and seek bids on Auction International.
Yes.
And they came back yesterday was the final day, and those are the costs and are the prices that we'll receive for that surplus. And I think that's a really good program, and you know it's beneficial. We have surplus.
We pick up about $5,000 worth of revenue for material, things that we no longer use. And I think in the case of the pickup or the flatbed Chevy there, I think we only paid like $400 or $500 for that. That was one of those things that came
Walter, do you have that figure off the top of your head? Because Walt would know.
No, I don't remember, but you made money on it.
Yeah.
But, just, I don't want to keep harping on this, but that was a good policy established by this board in Walton years ago, to look at surplus items and, it's coming full circle. So kudos to you guys for that. You had good foresight years ago.
Next item on my list was our seasonal employees. We have Dick Doig and Steve Condon lined up to run the mowers again this summer. And also Kylie Wiggins is our summer youth employment scheduled to start as well.
And just to, when I did the agenda, I did not change the dollar values. So the 2 summer seasonal should be $13 an hour for approximately 24 hours a week for 13 weeks. And then the summer youth employee would be $12.40 an hour for approximately 13 weeks. I had the previous year's salaries in there.
Oh, I don't see it on the agenda here.
The agenda that I put online,
Oh, okay.
the detailed of all of it.
Yeah.
So the resolutions I have separate. 2 summer employees would need a resolution, and then the summer youth employee would need a resolution.
Okay, somebody like to,
Separate.
Yeah,
we have to
please.
do them separate.
And the 2 summer employees to run the mowers.
Right. And you second it. Okay, we have a movement and a second to hire the summer crew for the big mowers. Any further discussion? To hire 2 people, right? Right. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? That's carried.
I'll make a motion, we approve the youth employment.
Second. Okay, we got a movement and a second to hire the youth employment. Again, this is, we pay for the summer youth employment through Delaware County Summer Youth Employment Agency. And then
seek
we
reimbursement.
seek reimbursement at the end of the year. So any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is carried. Good.
We are expecting 1 more summer youth employee to come through, but that application has not come through yet.
Which,
So that'll probably be next month.
right, and typically they work for the cemetery. And it's typically a high school student. They wouldn't be able to start. I spoke with Mike Harrington today about that. They wouldn't be able to start till the end of school. Just like it's been that way for a couple of years, so we can appoint him or her next month.
Never heard back from them.
Oh.
Never got the test for things.
Okay, anything else, Chip?
Yes. Week or 2 back, we had bid on a bucket truck on Auctions International, looking to replace our old truck that we've been using. And we did not win the bid, but apparently the successful bidder had backed out or for whatever reason couldn't make the purchase happen. So they've offered it to us again as the backup bidder for $12,500 for a 2007 International with an L-Tech. It was a 55-foot insulated boom.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we approve Jeff to bid to a certain amount on that?
Oh, wow, we said 12,000, that's what you're gonna bid up to. I don't think we really
Well,
set
I
a
don't-
limit, did we?
I don't think we did set a limit. That was kind of the ballpark where I felt I was comfortable going with it.
Okay, I may be wrong, but I thought we did set a limit, but I could be without looking at the minutes. But anyways, so is,
I'd make a motion, we purchase it.
I'll
We've used we've had well, it's not a bucket truck, it's the de-icing truck that we've had for, God, I don't know how long, it's been a long time anyway.
It's been a long time.
And it's, I mean, while it does work, we've had brake problems, and it's not, for doing that kind of work, it's not the most convenient. A bucket truck would actually be better, so.
Safer.
And I'm sure the federal surplus that, or not federal, we surplus that truck will recoup, probably 3,000-4,000, what do you think?
It's hard to say.
So, no.
You want to amend your motion to surplus the old truck at the same time as we're doing this?
Well, let's see where we can do that. We can do that afterwards. We'll
All right.
get this and see how everything works.
Okay.
So just to clarify, this is a motion to approve the purchase of a 2007 International bucket truck in the amount of $12,500 from Auctions International.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a movement and we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion is carried. Good. When did you get that notification?
4:17 this afternoon.
No kidding.
Actually, I didn't read it until 5.
Now, did they give you a time limit? Okay, so they're gonna hold it till Thursday, pending your notification. Okay, good. And where is it located? Did they give you an idea?
City of Salem.
Oh, it's out in the western part of the
Western
state.
part of the state. It's in the
It's
state.
about- Yeah, it's about 5 hours out. Okay, great. That's good. Okay, anything else?
That is it.
All right, well, thank you. Okay, Rhonda.
Okay, everyone should have my financial reports. I also want to report that I am done collecting taxes. I closed out today at with the county treasurer. I am 92% collected and have returned $331,469.36 uncollected over to the treasurer for collection for the remainder of the month. That represents 251 tax bills, and 58 of them were from Sheffield Estates. So we really only, that's a group, so 190 some tax bills were returned unpaid. So that's really good.
Yeah, how does that compare to the last couple of years?
Last year, I believe I was
Weren't we at like 88?
89,
89.
and the year before that, I was at 90. So this is 92% collected. So it's pretty good.
How many people took advantage of paying it?
Not as many as last year. I think with the stimulus
Yeah.
payments, it was easier for people to pay their taxes, without having to choose that option.
That way, actually, I heard that from a number of people. That when that stimulus check came in was the same time the tax bills came out. A lot of people
It was-
used that. So.
Yeah, it was definitely beneficial.
But we still had a number of people participate in the partial payment program. So it's still,
You managed to use it, jump up again next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I do have a couple of use of facilities. The first one that I have is from Delaware Opportunities. They would like to hold a recruitment day on May 21st. They're requesting that we waive the $50 deposit. And this would be for veterans deposit. The recruitment day for Delaware Opportunities is for the enrollment in Head Start program. So we would need a motion that would include the waiving of the deposit if you so choose.
I'll move it.
Why didn't we wait?
well, it's, I would think,
We've waived it in the past for organizations such as this, churches.
we just, like we're discussing, I think we waived the farmer's market fee too, correct? So it's kind of like, organizations that benefit.
Yeah, community.
Yeah.
They still have the responsibility, so.
Yes.
Okay, we have a movement and a second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
I was.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried.
All right, and then I have an additional use of facility. This would be the Veterans Plaza as well, and this would be from the Walton Historical Society to hold a Veterans Book signing as well as a tree planting ceremony on May 29th. And they, again, are requesting the waiving of the $50 deposit. And the tree planting, they are suggesting a dogwood tree. And Patty Wood has been in contact with them, with Linda Belmont, I'm sorry. So I don't know if that needs further discussion, but that would be a motion to approve the date of May 29th, the book signing, the tree planting, and waiving of the $50 deposit. Unless you want something separated.
My opinion is if you haven't seen the book, Rhonda's got a copy of it. It's the World War II POW book.
I bought them too.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And Rich Grossman put that together, right? Am I saying?
Yes. Yes,
So
Richard
thank you,
Grossman.
Rich. And we also have next door to us is a World War II POW that lives next door, and guess he's going to go down and sign some books. So based on that, I haven't heard that specifically, but I'm assuming that's there'll be one of them that does that. And this is a fabulous opportunity for the community to go down there. And
Mhm.
They're gonna contact, the press or somebody. So they get
I
the
assume
publicity
so,
about
yeah,
it.
that I don't know. It doesn't state in there.
yeah, the only
application.
thing, just my opinion too, is I would recommend that we hold off on the tree planting until the committee gets together, because we talked about trees down there, and
Yeah.
we don't have a specific plan on trees, because I know there's some floodplain regulations we have to discuss, put it in a package. Do we need some more shade trees down there? Yes, but how many, whereabouts?
Technically placed, yes.
Yeah, technically placed. So I think, my opinion, I think we put it back in the hands of committee, which is Dr. Rod and Patty Wood. Again, I agree with the tree planting and we'll let them go forward, but I think it's based upon the recommendation and then the recommendation from the committee and approval of the full board on the specific plan for tree planting.
Okay, so this resolution would,
Steve, can you look into those regulations and see if there's any particular requirements for the kind of tree?
Yeah, and I think that ultimately we should, stick with a medium-sized shade tree down there. Like I think the red maples are in like the 35-foot range would be, I think, ideal down there. If you get a 100-foot tree down there, some bad things could happen to neighboring properties as they get old and start to fall apart. So, yeah, we can discuss it.
We want something that has a root system too, right?
Yeah, you want us to have something to stay anchored there.
Yeah, and I just,
That's what I'm saying, that, so
perfect.
we need to look at that.
And based on flood, some research you got to do in the floodplain for specific tree planting. Should they be X bar apart? How many can you put in an acre in a floodplain? That type of stuff. Just so Steve can do some research, get with the committee, and you guys can come back to the board with a recommendation on roughly a sketch of what we would like eventually down there, species of trees, and
So I move that we approve the usage except the planting of the tree until the committee makes that recommendation.
And the waiving of the fee?
Yes.
Okay,
The,
so exclude the tree planting.
I don't know that I see a need for, to come back to the board if the, two members of the board who were assigned to that task can, get together and get it worked out with Steve, because then maybe they could get the decision made and they could still go ahead with it on the 29th if they'd like to.
Okay. I'm fine with that too, yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody object to that? Because
No, not at all.
Okay, so the resolution currently is permission for the use of Veterans Plaza on May 29th for the Historical Society for a book signing event and to waive the $50 fee for the organization.
and permit the planting of the tree, provided the,
Based on the recommendations of the committee.
Okay, do you
We'll
want that
allow
part
you to
of,
plant a tree, we don't know which tree yet.
Where?
okay. Permission to plant a tree upon the approval from the committee and code enforcement floodplain manager Steve Dutcher. Right? Okay,
So we have a motion
yes,
and a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion is carried.
and the only,
Thank you, Linda, for putting that together.
and the only other thing I had was to comment along with Len was on the dog licensing. The tickets have been very effective, and we are currently down to 32 dogs past due, which I believe 25 of those tickets have already gone out. So we went from 60, I believe, last month to 30 this month. So they are,
So good job, Rusty.
yeah,
Okay, that's it?
yes.
Okay, I just got a couple things. One thing that is not under my report, I just wanted to bring your attention. I just recently renewed one of our certificate of deposits. And in discussion with the bank, the rate was not good. When we had first initially talked about it, I inquired at a different financial institution, and their rate for the same bond was 0. And discussion with both financial institutions, it's not going to be long, in their opinion, that CDs may go negative. So you just signed the co-signature on that bond, and right off the top of my head, I think it was 0.04%.
Not a bond, just a CD.
Or CD, excuse me, yes, CD.
Invest on the silver.
I see them commercials all the time.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
no gold.
So, yeah, I just wanted to give the boards a heads up. And of course, the Fed last year or the year before made a comment that they're not doing anything with rates for 3 to 4 years. So it's showing in the amount of money we can make on certificates of deposit. So, but at least we're getting something from the current financial institution. Okay, I have a request from the Downsville Fire District. You all got a copy of that. Basically what it is they're going to convert their permanent certificate of need with, excuse me, they want to convert their certificate of need to a permanent one. And in doing so through Department of Health, they need public entities to endorse that with a letter. And I've got a copy of the letter that I can use to endorse their need for a certificate, for changing their certificate of need to a permanent one. I am more than happy to do this.
Is there a voluntary EMS?
I'm not sure why they want to do it right at this moment, but
The letter, let's see here.
You say that.
Yeah, it doesn't say specifically. It's just that they're transitioning from a municipal declaration to a permanent operating
okay.
certificate.
I don't have any problem with it, just they're suffering the same thing we are, they can't get us ambulance off the floor.
Right, yes. And they may be down the road thinking what
But we're
the
not.
fire district is moving forward, so. Would anybody like to make a motion authorizing me to endorse them?
I'll move it.
Endorsement, not a problem. Second.
Okay, we have a movement and a second, allowing me to send a letter of endorsement to the Downsville Fire District. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Who's your medical director?
I'll answer that. Well, I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Probably you.
Yeah.
No, me that I know
Yeah.
of. But the one thing that before you endorse an institution like that is that you gotta assure that they are following the right protocols and they have supervision.
Yeah, well, they've been operating as a emergency squad for years with a certificate of need. I just don't have the specific reason why they're going to a permanent one.
But somebody has to be signing up their trainings and everything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that position would be. So we do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. And I'll get this letter out first thing in the morning because they need it by the 15th. So, okay. Before the village board meeting last week, we sent we had talked about this. We sent an agreement with the village for funding for the recreational program along with the payment for the water service on Veterans Plaza. There was some discussion at that board meeting. There was some confusion on the amounts. So they did not sign that agreement, but last week and today I had discussions with the mayor and he understands the thought process of when we went into those agreements last year. So he's going to bring it up to his board next month and hopefully they'll sign that agreement. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And we have in front of you the Cornell Cooperative Hold Harmless Agreement.
Just as a reminder, this is the same agreement that we've done in the past for the use of facility for the farmers market. That use of facility form will come to us signed, but this is for the certificate of insurance that we do each year.
So this is standard.
This would be a permission for you to sign the agreement once again.
Make a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second authorizing me to sign that agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Okay, that's all I have.
Nope, local law.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to put the arrow down. We had the public hearing at the beginning of tonight. No comments this last month via email to me. Do I have a
Roll call.
for local laws to waive the residency requirement for our attorney?
For local law number 1 of 2021, and that will have to be a roll call vote.
So
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Yep. Okay, we have a movement and a second. Rhonda, will you hold?
Councilman Armstrong?
Aye.
Councilman Govern?
Aye.
Councilman Rodriguez Benicourt?
Aye.
Supervisor Seta?
Aye.
And Councilman Wood absent.
Okay. Motion is carried. You're safe, Carly. Okay, and thank you for that. Okay, are there any committee reports? I don't know if we. No, I don't think there was. Okay. Okay, approval of abstracts.
make a motion to approve the abstracts.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the abstracts. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion is carried. Okay, we anticipate and we will need to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing a matter related to potential litigation, a matter related to a particular employee, and a matter related to negotiations.
I'll make a motion, we go into those reasons.
Aye.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried. If there is any action, we can go back on, or
No.
okay.
I-
If there's any action, we'll notify the.
Yes, only because I did not send out another link
Right. Yeah.
to that.
I don't.
And I don't know.
I don't anticipate there being any action, but if there is, Barb's on, right?
Yes.
Yes. We'll notify you, Barb.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Have a good night.
Oh, that was the
Right?
zoo.